So how likely do you think it is that in 15 years we get that 2000 show starring whoever the fuck they cast in that 90s show?
I hope to God.
Like the guy just said in that video, he ended by saying, not to be morbid and all, but, Kurt Russell's going to die one day, and he can't say, here's my foot in your ass, dumbass, blah, 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 blah. And that's true. So in 15 years, give it or take, what if they're like, all right, we're going to reboot that 90s show. It's technically not even, is that become a reboot of that 70s show still, or is it not a reboot of that 90s show? And they reboot that 90s show, and they're going to do that 2000 show, and the star power for that one is going to be Tweedle Dipshits and the rest of them. The new gang, the one who is definitely, they always say 2.0 is better than 1.0.
So do you think, though, then in that scenario, do those new characters act exactly like the characters they portrayed, or are they just going to adopt the characteristics of the original characters?
I watched, I think 5 videos talking about that 90s show, so I feel pretty qualified to talk about that 90s show, even though I haven't watched any of it myself.
As qualified as the one who watched the whole show.
Exactly. I feel like. I mean, what, do I really have to watch all 8 episodes of that piece of Also, 8.
Is that all it is?
Yeah,
really?
8.
That's lazy.
8 episodes.
If you're going to do a fucking reboot of that 70s show, you should commit entirely to the whole thing. Just do 23 episodes, have the laugh track, etc. Etc.
Maybe they can only afford the laugh track. Maybe they had to pay for those laughs.
The excessive laughing.
The excessive laughing. Maybe that's I don't know about the industry. I'm not in the industry. I'm on the multi-camera comedy sitcom industry.
Well, for those of you listening, you don't notice we had a laugh track option on this machine over here, and we stopped using it because it costs too much. 10 episodes?
Yeah, it's 10. That's a little bit more forgivable, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little more respectable. Still not good enough, but a little more respectable.
I thought it was 8. Wow, this just blew my fucking mind. The reason why I thought it was 8 was because earlier I wanted to see if fucking whatever the guy who directed the first series his name was. I think David Traynor.
Yeah.
I want to see if he directed the new show. No, he directed The Ranch, so Netflix was willing to work with him on that show, but not this one.
I think it's the reverse.
And now I told you, it was directed by this Gail Mancuso. Gail Mancuso directed it, right? Mm. She did 8 episodes, so I was like, oh, she directed the entire thing? No. She did... Listen to these standout names. Ready? That 90s pilot. That's the first one, if you couldn't tell.
Thanks for clarifying.
And instead of calling it a pilot, they called it that 90s pilot, which is somehow both more creative and less creative. Because it's creative in the sense that, oh, ha, 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 it's that 90s show, it's that 90s pilot, it's that pilot from the 90s, but it's also less creative in the sense that now you're just essentially naming your show the pilot. It's like, imagine if Smallville was Smallville pilot and Gilmore Girls, Gilmore Girl pilot. Like, that's really stupid. We know what the show is, right?
Mm. Does the original do that or no?
I'm not checking, so I'm just going to assume they're smarter than that.
Okay.
That 90s pilot... followed by Free Leia, which, again, for a second, I'm like, that's stupid. That's actually a
oh my god,
character's
yeah,
fucking
that's
name.
their fucking daughter, isn't it?
Yes.
That's
then
so
it's
dumb.
Lip Smackers, Rave, Step by Step. That's funny. It's a 90s show. The Birthday Girl, Boyfriend Day 1, Summer Storm. I'm like, that's weird. She directed 8 episodes of the 10. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So episodes 9 and 10 were directed by a different person. Who's your guess?
Oh,
Laura Prepon.
Wait, really? I never would have guessed that in a million years.
Laura Prepon does the Dirty Double Booker, followed by Kids in America. I wonder if they play the song.
I hope they do. Is she in any of those episodes?
Actually, I guess I didn't check that either. Let's see. That's weird. Let's see if I sort the cast by popularity. Who's on top? I'm really curious. Let's see. Refine, sort by popularity. Mila Kunis, shocker. Ashton Kutcher, shocker. One episode. Laura Prepon. I was looking at Donna Penthouse. She's actually in 3 episodes. Eric,
oh, really?
1 episode. Donna, 3.
So she's in the one she directed too.
No, she's in Step by Step as well.
Interesting.
And 10.
Wow, what a thespian to take a step back.
Yeah, what a fucking... That must have been real challenging for her to be able to, surrender her hubris and not appear in 9 as well. And also, it's like... Did Netflix get this show because they were interested in the property? Or they were like, well, we already worked with Ashton Kutcher and Donna. We might as well just bring back that show as well, since we already have a good working relationship with them.
What do they do with Donna?
Orange is the New Black.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
One of their flagship shows, really.
You're right, jeez.
That show sucks so bad. Fucking Your Idiot Boss was saying how good of a show that is.
Oh my god!
And he was like, I watched it, and I was like, that's great. Yeah, I watched. He's like, you ever check it out? I'm like, yeah, I watched the pilot 3 times. Like, what do you mean watch the pilot? I fell asleep 3 times watching the pilot. Whenever I got to Jason Biggs, I was like, I'm done.
What is that? 3 minutes into the episode?
Probably. Once I saw Jason Biggs, I was like, nah, not for me.
It's kind of everything. Hey,
you
were great in Boys and Girls.
This is actually. We'll go back to this. What you want to get to, but I'm gonna have to take away my segue for a second. My seamless segue to the next conversation. I'm gonna have to retract that.
Okay.
Because I just looked who was billed underneath Topher Grace, and I saw Brian Austin Green's in an episode. I was like, that's fucking awesome. And then I was like, Brian Austin Green's playing Brian Austin Green, and I was like, I guess that's funny. He was he's 40 now. Wait, what do you mean he's playing Brian Austin Green now? How is he playing Brian Austin Green, who was like 19 when he was on 90210?
So was he playing 19-year-old?
I have no idea. He's in episode 6, The Birthday Girl. So I'm assuming her. I didn't read it yet. I'm gonna assume her crush is Brian Austin Green.
He's definitely playing young.
Oh my god! Have you guys been watching 90210?
He looks phenomenal. He can easily pass for young Brian.
Bob's in that episode as well. Leia celebrates her birthday with the gang and her family. What is the scripted description?
I love that 70s show, man, and I actually wanted to give that 90s show a chance. I figured it would suck, but I didn't want to be that pessimistic.
My God. Since there's no description, I'm like, I'll scroll through the photos. I'm staring at Brian Austin Green. First off, looks like dog shit. Second of all, looks fucking horrible, okay? And third, he's doing his 90210 character, whatever that dickhead's name is, because he's dressed like that asshole.
Oh, dude,
so this show was like, what was popular in the 90s? 90210. We should have them be fans of 90210. Yeah, that makes sense. That adds up. Maybe they watch 90210.
That's so funny.
What if we have Brian Austin Green be our crush? Yeah, sure, he's hot. I mean, we can't have the better. I mean, again, you know what's funny? We had this conversation weeks ago. I said, who's the coolest guy in 90210? It's certainly Luke Perry. Okay,
yeah, 100%.
We went over this, and I said, then maybe it's Brian Austin Green, then it's probably Jacob Priestley, and then it's fucking piece of shit Ion, whatever his name is.
Shit ain't him.
Okay, so they were like, all right, we can't get the coolest guy because he's dead, so we'll get the second coolest guy. We'll get Brian Austin Green, and we're gonna have him come in the show as Brian Austin Green, looking 50 years old.
Oh, dude, Luke Perry would have killed it too.
Luke Perry's Luke Perry.
Luke Perry would have fucking awesome.
Luke Perry was cool. I don't know how he did it. Awesome. I don't know how someone from 90210 managed to be cool, but he did it. All right? And maybe it's the name. Maybe it's just a cool name. All right? Cool name. Ion whatever is not a cool name. Okay? Jacob Priestley is a stupid name. Brian Austin Green is an asinine name. Luke Perry, that guy sounds like he's got something going on between the ears. This is even weirder too, because I'm pretty positive the people they cast in the show are like 11 years old. So now she's like going to have her crush there, and he's like, "Yeah, I think you're cool." Like that would, at least if he was 19 years old, it makes sense for her to be crushing on it. Like, when you're 13, you think the people, when you're a 14-year-old freshman, you think the seniors are so cool, right?
100%.
That makes sense when the character is 14 watching a show, because Brian Austin Green was probably 20 years old in that show. So she's like, "Oh, he's so dreamy."
Yeah.
When you break the reality of the time, when you now have 50-year-old Brian Austin Green post-divorce,
no, he's fucking old.
It's like, so your character's, oh my god, he's so hot. Yeah, that 50-year-old man who's missing Megan Fox and probably doesn't talk to his kids nearly enough. That's awesome.
When they in that 70s show, and they had people from the 70s like Ted Nugent, he looked fairly similar to how Ted Nugent looked in the 70s. He looked like an entirely different person.
And also, Ted Nugent wasn't famous in the 70s for being a high schooler.
No, Brian Austin Green was being Ted Nugent. Exactly. You're so correct.
Jesus Christ. And it's like that fucking show, not only do I have no intention of watching it, now I really have no intention of watching it. I had a lot of intention of watching it. And that takes a lot. Netflix managed to create a show that I wasn't interested in, and then when I learned more about the show, I became less interested in it. The baseline was already 0. And now it's becoming less than that. Now it's like a personal vendetta. I cannot watch the show. I just didn't want to watch it. Now I can't watch it.
The video we just watched about it, they showed the opening scene of the trailer when Kitty and Red are dancing. Red. And it looks stupid completely in the context of the episode, but I remember when the trailer dropped.
But hold on, I couldn't tell. Was she doing young and I hope so. Beautiful?
I'm almost certain the trailer plays the same song.
They weren't playing the audio, so I couldn't tell. Because for a second, I was like, that's not that bad. Young and beautiful.
I hope that God's what they play.
Someday
because
your looks
when
will
I
be
saw
gone.
The trailer,
be gone.
I got so happy. Like, I'm going to watch that 90s show.
Yeah.
I fell for the bandwagon there.
Yeah.
And then the video showed that one scene when they introduced Jackie and Kelso, and a part of me died.
I know.
It was
and then Eric walks in, and Donna walks in, and I'll just say it. Donna looks like a fucking, like one of those, those porn games when they're like, you won't last 30 seconds playing this game. Dude, and they show those animated like drawings, like, look at this huge titted MILF in your area. My husband's not home. You won't last 30 seconds playing this game. She looks like a real-life creation of one of those characters.
Yeah.
Everything about her looked like it was... Everything about her looked like someone described... Like a game of telephone of what Laura Prepon looks like. And the seventh person's what we got the amalgamation of. So everyone's like, oh yeah, she's got, you know, this kind of a face, this kind of face. And the next guy's like, yeah, I think he said she had this kind of a face. And then they're like, yeah, I think it was like this and that. And then the fifth guy's like, I think I know what she looks like. And that's the Laura Prepon we got.
And how does Eric look so overweight, even though he's not overweight? What is going on?
Everyone, that's the real bad part. Like when because the guy in the video compared how, you know, iCarly came back, and it's like, yeah, iCarly came back. That show ended with, you know, I don't know, Miranda Cosgrove in her late teens. Now she's in her early 30s. She still has a little bit of youthfulness in her eyes. It's like when that second show ended, Eric was nearing 30.
Yeah, if not 30.
And now he looks like he's 50, and it's just kind of like, oof. Time hasn't been that great to Eric. That's exactly. And the really weird part too, though, is I think it's something to do when you put someone into the show and try to make them like be the character. I guess is what really makes like highlights how old they are. Because like I saw a picture of fucking Fez on Instagram because NCIS or whatever dumb cop procedural he's on, I guess has to have targeted. It was a sponsored post. I'm not following some stupid fucking CIS post like fans. No, it was some sponsored ad promoting the season premiere. Like, look, all of our shitty properties. Now we have a character from each one of them in a show together.
That's tight. That's awesome.
That's so cool. And I thought he looked fine. He looked like a douchebag. He looked like a total douchebag with his fucking, you know, I'm wearing a black V-neck with a black leather jacket on it, and I have black jeans on and black boots and my black spiky hair and my nice trimmed black beard. I'm all look how monochromatic I am. It's like, all right, that's you're lame as fuck. But when you put him in the world of that setting, I'm like, oh, that's supposed to be Fez, not Wilmer Valderrama. It's like, wow, you look old. Like, I don't think if I saw Topher Grace on the street, I was like, God, you look like shit.
It's, exactly.
But you put him in as Eric, I'm like, God, you look terrible. Eric, this is what Eric became?
Honestly, I didn't think any of them looked off until we saw them trying to be their characters.
Yeah, and then it's like, I don't like how Jackie's like, hey, kitty, you Mrs. Foreman. Yeah.
And Mrs.
Also, Foreman. That's the fucking Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny bullshit, where she's fucking saying, Indiana. No, Indiana is reserved for the one scene in which Sean Connery is like, Indiana, and then that makes Indiana Jones like, oh shit, wait, that's a serious moment. You're right. Let me not take the fucking what I've been searching for. Let me let it go. Let it go. He's like, Indiana, let it go. Once you do, lets it go. But then in the new trailer of Dial of Destiny, they're like, Indiana, Indiana, Indiana. Everyone's always called him Indiana. It's fucking bullshit.
And I guess you can make the argument that, well, in the premiere of season 4, when they showed everybody in the early 80s, Kelso and Jackie are both doing news stuff, so you can say, oh, they actually followed what the characters would have done originally.
Yes, that's actually a good point.
Fucking stupid, though. It was stupid in the Flash Forward episode, and it's fucking stupid now. And Jackie wasn't acting like Jackie should have acted like based on how Jackie ended at the end of season 8. Jackie was acting like the way Jackie before Jackie would be in season 1. She was more annoying than Jackie was in the beginning of Jackie.
Yes,
it was fucking stupid.
And also, I don't like that they're like, all right, we gotta have these characters. I mean, I get it. The sitcom. I get what the show is, but like, can you just not resort to having them walk in from the door and be like, "Hey, we're here." You know?
No,
can't you at least have? I get it. I understand that. Like, hey, Seinfeld. Kramer walks in the door as Kramer.
Yeah, it took how long to get to that point?
But it's like, can't you? I don't understand. Like, couldn't they have had a scene that wasn't that? How about, I understand that no matter what scene it is, in some sense of it, it's gonna be them like walking into a room and a conversation just starting. I understand how things work, but there has to be some bit more of an original way of having Kelso and Jackie walk in, opposed to actually have them walk in.
I got a great pilot.
And honestly, having them come in through that door in the kitchen somehow just feels like the worst possible way to have them walk in. I would have preferred the kids already hanging out in the basement and Kelso just walked in like he still owned the place and just came in and was like, oh, hey, guys.
He should have walked right to the freezer and grabbed the fucking popsicle.
If he walked in, gets popsicle, turns around, oh, hey, guys. And we're like, Kelso's Kelso. But instead, they're like, what's that thing he said? Oh, burn! We'll have him walking screaming that.
Remember all that sexual tension between him and Kitty that never established?
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that even for a second. Well, we're gonna pretend that we're gonna play it off like it's a thing that happened. Maybe people won't remember.
I got a great pilot for you, okay?
You can get your pilot, but one other remark. I also think it's even the weirdest part about the entire 90s show being a thing is that video pointing out how a lot of nostalgia now is 80s nostalgia. I think it's very interesting that they respected the sanctity of that 80s show to not just do that 80s show as the follow-up.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
That's shocking.
But I don't like that 80s show so not related, that 90s show is directly related.
I agree. When you go to that 70s show, it says followed by that 90s show related to that 80s show.
That's weird.
Those are separate categories. But isn't it weird that Netflix had the with straight? No, they already said, listen, we already have Stranger Things. Weird. We can just take all those. We already have the costumes. We have the wardrobe. We have the sets. We have the props. We can just recycle all that shit, bring it over here. And they're like, you know what? No. We have to pay respect to what that 80s show was. We're that 90s show.
That's actually really good on Netflix. Good on them.
Because I would have just gone with that 80s show was a flop. Let's make it the 80s still.
I would have called it that 70s 2 show.
Nice. Yeah, that. You know what they should have called it?
What?
They should have done it. They should have done some sort of a cool way where they could have had the 7 be a letter in the thing. So they just called it like, you know, Scream 5 was technically Scream 5, but the trailer just marketed it as Scream, and the V was changed into the red. They should have wrote that 70 show and had like somewhere the secondary color numbers like, oh look, it's a different title technically. See,
that would pretty. That
would have been really up with the times, you know. Everyone would be like, damn, that's cool.
You ready for this?
For your amazing pilot, yeah.
There's actually a good pilot, okay?
How does Hyde factor into the pilot?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
I already factored in him, okay? Just remind me to bring Hyde up, because he's not related. He's going to come in episode 2.
He's indirectly, yeah.
He's not in episode 1, he's in episode 2. So just remind me at the end of all this to get to Hyde.
Is there like a throwaway joke where they're like, he couldn't be here, he's in court today?
How about we get to it? You'll find out if there's a throwaway joke. Okay, so I didn't get all the details. It just came to me, okay? Like that, it just came to me.
Yeah.
All right, so for whatever reason, Eric and Donna are married because that's what the show established. They're married, they have a kid. For the last year or two...
What would you name their kid, out of curiosity?
Luke.
Interesting. Why Luke?
Because they love Star Wars.
They love Star Wars. I forgot. I love how when things get rebooted, it should be...
That or Han.
You know what's funny to me? Fucking, when a TV show... Like, when you look at a TV show that lasted 1 season, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's because it's a piece of shit. Arguably, sometimes there's some gems, but most of the time it's just a piece of shit that got canceled. And like you've seen, like think about how some like, for instance, the person who directed that 70s show, and you know, for the episodes that didn't need Laura Prepon's grace, and they had the other, the other director, they worked on like 8 episodes of Shit My Dad Says. That show got canceled because it was a dumb fucking show with a shitty cast and everything was terrible about it, right? Those characters were flat, right? They were meaningless. No one remembers them. A show like that 70s show last 8 years, some of which were good, and those shows lasted because the characters were complex enough or dynamic, or they had character growth and they had things you understood about them, and they were well versed and dynamic. But then when they reboot every series, they're like, all right, Eric likes Star Wars.
Well, the problem with every reboot is the same thing as when a comedian steals another comedian's joke. They get the smallest, watered down version of it. Also, how funny was it that they were like, all right, it's the 90s. What should Eric be drinking? We'll throw a Zima in the corner. It's pretty genius. Are you ready to have your mind blown? Yes. I haven't even gotten into it yet.
Yeah. So there's
okay. So the initial inciting incident takes place 2 years before the show even starts, okay? Right. For some reason, Donna and Eric are in hard times. They can't afford their own place. They move back in with either Bob or they move back in with Eric and Kitty. Red and Kitty,
Eric moves in with Eric.
Okay.
Interesting.
So as the show starts off, they're already living there for at least a year. Okay, so the daughter's not saying, hey, can I stay here for the summer? She's already well involved with her grandparents' lifestyle. Her and the neighborhood kids want to go to a Nirvana concert, just for argument's sake, like the Todd Rundgren concert in the original episode. Right. They're not allowed to leave the fucking town because it's in Kenosha and blah, blah, blah. They just basically reboot the first episode, make it all the 90s and have all the new kids so you can fall back into... I remember when that moment happened. Remember when the credits happened when they were singing to the Todd Rundgren song? That was really great. Now we can follow with these characters. Taking
the beats, you're actually able to still have the characters. You get to actually have them like, grow. You get to see who these people are in a situation that looks familiar. So you're not just doing hey, Star Wars. You're actually I get what you're saying.
Don't do the whole our battery died. Don't do any of that stuff. Just do that initial
overall
segment.
Yeah. If you were to make it like these dumb exercises like write a 1 sentence story.
Yeah, and then the episode ends with everybody in the circle.
And also, stop doing that. You just said You didn't process what I said for a second. You just said and moved on.
You're right.
You know those things when you're in class and
I was
like,
excited.
write a 1 second story. I'm sorry, 1 sentence story.
Yes.
It's like that's a stupid prompt. That's just dumb.
Yes.
I'm saying your thing though, if you were to do that stupid exercise and bring all the way down, the pilot for your suggested pilot and the original pilot, it's the same 1 sentence story, but it's a different episode.
You're right. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was too excited. I wanted to get back to your Hyde thing. You didn't bring it up in the first place. I was so excited how you tied all that back into everything. So the first episode ends where Eric stumbles downstairs. The kids find his old weed stash.
And he opens a newspaper, and like that's weird.
No, it's even better than that.
Like, what's so interesting? No, they're at the table, and Eric's like, "Oh my god!" And Kitty's like, "What?" And he's like, "Steven just got put in jail for a minimum of 30 years for being found on 2 out of 3 accounts of sexual assault and rape."
And that's the end of the pilot. That's the end of the pilot. And then we go to the credits where they're all singing some Nirvana song or insert 90s band here.
Also, do you think is there a theme song to this new show? It's probably just some fucking, that company who did the Game of Thrones song who just ruins every theme song afterwards. Yeah. It's probably some lifeless fucking amalgamation of bullshit things that are vaguely 90s with names popping up and just slow and generic and doesn't have any of the whole hanging out. The whole thing was like iconic to the show.
I think they should do the theme song where it's still hanging out.
Yeah.
But they do it like the way Glee did it. Because they're all
they'll do Good Vibrations. That's the change of the song to be that. So feel it, and make it more 90s style, you know?
That's actually way better than I was saying. And instead of being in the car, they could all just be in the circle randomly.
What's like a 90s? I don't think there's any like 90s form of transportation that was exclusive to the 90s, was there? Skateboards, I guess, were 90s.
Actually, yeah, it feels very 90s, early 2000s. That's a good one.
Like
they're all on skateboards.
So yeah, they're all on. I don't know how you'd shoot that. They're all on skateboards, and the
camera's here, and one comes in the frame singing "hanging out." And
no, they're not singing "hanging out." They're doing fucking Good Vibrations. This is the 90s.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You fucking idiot.
The guy comes in the frame and goes, "Feel it, feel it." And he flies off. And the guy goes, "Good Vibrations."
Yeah, and they keep alternating.
They all keep flying into frame with their title credits.
That's actually, that could probably...
Dude, our 90s show is way better than the 90s show.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And
we should just make that 2000 show.
Ours sounds horrible. And it's still so much better than the actual one that was given.
I guess you're right. Objectively, ours does sound like
ours sounds like a piece of shit.
But it sounds way better than the shit we got.
Given. Yeah.
That's true. Objectively speaking.
Objectively speaking, yeah. It'd be like, it's the difference between, like, if someone, someone puts dog shit in your house, you're like, that's gross. But if someone takes human shit, okay, this person is a fucking asshole. Like they shat on my house themselves. They degraded themselves to degrade my house.
That's right. So the moral of the story is that 90s show Netflix is human shit.
And our joking proposal of 5 minutes of thought is superior to what they probably spent a year of their lives committed to. I hope they all feel very good about themselves. I'm glad. What's even really offensive too is at least fucking that show's a piece of shit. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you said that show saved my life. That show's horrible. Okay, if that show saved your life, it wasn't a great life that was saved.
You know what show saved my life?
What?
Saved by the Bell.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fucking that 70s show. At least fucking Topher Grace, Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher, arguably Wilder Valderrama, since he was in 3 episodes. Those are the other 3 people. They're like, yeah, I was being respectful. I was polite. I was doing it as a courtesy to the show. I got paid for it. Who cares? Donna's like, I want to put my name on this.
Yeah, really?
I want to direct 2 of these. I want to direct the finale of the show. I want. First off, is she even a director? Is this a thing that, I'm not checking up on, the star of Slackers too often, but I wasn't aware of her directing. I knew she was, I thought, that's what I thought, all right, that 70s show, Slackers, October Road, Are You There, Chelsea, It's Me, Vodka, that movie with Sam Elliott.
Dude, the fact that you can remember the fact she's in that show, the fact that you remember that show existed, let alone that Laura Prepon is in that, is amazing.
And I was right. She's even apparently known for The Hero with Sam Elliott, okay?
What the fuck's The Hero with Sam Elliott?
It's some movie with Sam Elliott where he's, like, dating her, and I was like,
Laura Prepon?
Not gonna watch it. Yeah, because that's gross.
Sam Elliott, the guy from Roadhouse?
Correct.
Is dating Laura Prepon, yes. The chick from 70 show?
Yes.
What?
It also has Kristen Ritter in it and Nick Offerman in it, yeah.
That sounds bonkers.
But I want to see if she's a director. I want to see.
She probably did an episode of Orange is the New Black.
She's a 3-time director. Hilarious. Yeah, she directed a TV movie called called Neighbors. Neighbors are the bros. Mind blown.
What?
Great story. Directed by Laura Prepon, written by the guy who's written by her as well.
Oh, sweet.
Her and the guy starring in it.
Nice.
Wow. So that must have been what they made. That must have been what Netflix. That must have been in her 2011 directorial debut for Neighbors. Again, TV movie. Apparently, no pictures given, no runtime listed, no rating listed.
What's it called?
Neighbors, which is really hard to read because you look at it, your brain's like, no, that says Neighbors. And you're like, no. This dumb fucking idiot actually wrote Neighbors.
Netflix is like, this Donna Prepon directed this Neighbors. She's pretty good.
7.6 out of 10.
How much?
7.6.
Bullshit.
From 53 reviews.
Let's say with 3 people say they saw it.
Well, let's see. Well, the cast is 18, so let's just assume all 18 of them on their IMDb Pro accounts left ratings. 3 writers, but unfortunately 2 of them are in the fucking movie. The director is the same one as the writer. The production manager is in the movie. So this is awesome. But that was 2011. So after that, tour de force, I think she might have won in the fucking. I think that might have been at Cannes Film Festival. 6 years later, they're like, you know what, Laura, we saw the request you gave. You want to direct on the show? We get it. All right. We went back. We watched Neighbors. We think you can do it.
We saw that Cannes film you had. That was great.
So in 5, 6, 7, she directed 1 episode each. of Orange is the New Black.
5, 6, and 7, you said?
Yes. After her first 4 years of pleading, they're like, you know what, fine. We'll give you your shot, kid. Let's see your student film. She hands him Neighbors, like, you got chops. You can direct an episode or 2. Maybe even 3. Chops. And then, 4 years later, she's like, you know what? I just got the itch again. I want to direct something. Netflix, can I do it? And they're like, we'd love to have you do it. We're actually doing that 90s show. So how about you direct some of that show? I'd love to. But it's like, now she's attached to that. Now she's a part of the creative process of that. Which shows why it's so shitty.
But how much creative process?
Because if I wanted to make that 90s show, and I wanted an actor's fucking... If I wanted a contributor from the original series to contribute to the new one, creatively, it wouldn't have been Donna, who has the worst storylines, if you want to call them that. Because 99% of her storylines revolve around what's happening with Bob and Midge, or what's happening with Eric.
Yep. She's just the reactor, as we call it.
And she's so bad at that. I would have... Like, it's melted my brain. It's really infuriating. Like, we're watching that 70s show, and again, like, for a second I thought, maybe I'll check out that 90s show when it's over.
Dude, I was honestly, with or without you, I was going down that fucking trail. I was watching that 90s show.
And it's listed for season 2, because it's Netflix, we greenlight everything, so it just has a season 2 coming out.
Wait,
so
what's that dumb thing they
season 3 they're going to cancel.
You guessed it. No, the season's coming. Is that dumb shit they say at the end of fucking, on every fucking thumbnail? Says, you guessed it. No, the season's coming.
Confirmed.
You guys say it the second your show comes out. You guys fucking suck. Hate Netflix, and that 90s show looks fucking stupid.
The 90s show. Now it's 1995. Leia Foreman is visiting her grandparents for the summer, where she bonds with a new generation of Point Place, Wisconsin. Kids under the watchful eye of Kitty and the stern glare of Red. Interesting. Thanks. That was the, I guess, the official. I don't know. I guess that's the official one they put out for the description. Let's see what the Movies DB wrote. Hello, Wisconsin. It's 1995. And Leia Foreman, daughter of Eric and Donna, is visiting her grandparents for the summer, where she bonds with a new generation of Point Place kids under the watchful eye of Kitty and the stern glare of Red. Sounds familiar. Sex, drugs, rock and roll never dies. It just changes clothes. So the movie DB decided just to take the original tagline, add the word hello, specify Eric and Donna, and add a tagline of sex and drugs, rock and roll never dies. It just changes clothes. Then we have a third description. Let's check this one out. In 1995 Point Place, Wisconsin, Leia Foreman, daughter of Eric Topher Grace and Donna Laura Papon Foreman, is visiting her grandparents for the summer. She meets and bonds with a new generation of Point Place teens under the watchful eye of Kitty and the stern glare of Red. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll never die. It just changes clothes.
Oh, it's amazing how these descriptions are so similar.
Thank you, IMDb, for providing 3 very similar descriptions.
Remember that exercise you presented before about that, hey, give me a one-word pitch in 2 seconds, whatever the fuck you said, one-sentence pitch?
Yes. We already found it.
Yeah, that's apparently how that 90s show started.
They said, give it to me in one sentence, or one sentence. Like, all right.
Hello, Wisconsin.
New generation of kids in Point Place under the watchful eye of King, the stern glare of Red. Sounds great. And also...
We're sold.
I don't understand the point. I mean, I get like I guess Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo Rupp.
That sounds right. That sounds so correct. It might just be right.
It just might be. I think they probably had. I'm assuming because I don't even think. You know what? I know he was in the episode of Psych that one time, Kurtwood Smith. But besides that, not really sure what's going on. RoboCop was before that 70s show. And then as far as Deborah Jo Rupp,
I know you know what he was in.
She had that fucking TV show with that Not DeLuise kid.
No, that's what Red was in. Red was with the Not DeLuise kid.
Oh yeah, Kitty was the other one with the one who married the Yankee, Joanna Swisher Garcia.
Yeah, and that guy from Psych was in that show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fucking
But the point is, both of those shows were from like 2012. Okay, so they haven't worked in 10 years. I'm assuming.
Kitty's show was way better than Red's show.
Yeah, Red's show was pretty bad. Fucking. At my point, I get that their schedules were pretty open. But, like, is this really the 2 characters you think that you should base the show around?
Yeah, that's also weird to me. Why is it still in their basement? It was weird when fucking Randy was the guy in their basement.
Now it's even weird that your grandkids and her friends are in your basement.
Yeah, I don't know how to do the reboot, to be completely honest, but it's not that.
It's
just
not
make a show based in that 90s.
That.
Just do the same approach that 80s show did. Just make it take place in that 90s and move the fuck on.
Yeah, I don't think you had to have the characters overlap
at
all.
You
but
didn't.
If you were going to, it wouldn't have been Red and Kitty.
It would have been Felton, for sure.
Fenton,
excuse me.
Leo,
the only recurring character would have been Leo in the photo hut. That's just still been there because they were still around in the 90s, and someone could have been working there.
Yeah.
And Leo's the only returning character.
Yeah, you could have even kept it. You could have honestly kept it in Point. You could have even kept it in the same house. Fucking have it where Red and Kitty moved away, and have Donna. Since Donna wants me so fucking, this isn't just a fucking thing for her. It's not a one night stand.
She's attached
to it. It's a passion project. She's like, I have to direct 2 episodes.
You know, she actually brought it to Netflix. You know that?
She was actually. you guys, she did the James Cameron thing where they said that they wrote Alien and he just wrote $1 for the S. She just wrote that 70 show and they were like, yeah, we've seen it. And then she just crossed out the 9. She wrote crossed out the sign, put a 9. They're like, that's fucking genius. And she changed the S to $.
That's
like,
great.
We're sold. So since she's so attached to it, you think she'd want to be in the show more is my point. She's in 3 episodes. 3 episodes. She directed 2 of them. She's got her fucking, she's got a stranglehold of the series. You think she would have been like, no, guys, how about we do, how about I don't know, how about Donna, how about Eric's a stay-at-home dad? And Donna is living her awesome, cool, awesome, super fucking smart life. She totally deserved it, even though she was just an annoying character who wasn't that fucking intelligent to begin with, but thought who the fuck she was.
Yeah, she dated Randy. What the fuck does she know?
Literally, I don't understand. That's one thing I hate about it. Like, Kelso was dumb and acted dumb, right? Jackie was spoiled. She acted spoiled. Donna was stupid and acted smart.
Oof, that doesn't make any sense there.
Every other character was true to themselves, right?
Yeah.
Eric was a smart ass, acted like a smart ass. Donna, though, for some reason, stupid, acts smart.
Hyde was a rapist, acted like a rapist.
Yeah, exactly. It translates. If any care, first off, that's the because again, thinking of the character of Eric doing that's heartbreaking, and thinking of Hyde doing it makes sense. Hyde's fucking annoying. Past season 2, you can't even look at him because he just got like bloated. I can't even say he's overweight. He's just bloated. He just incessantly looks like he just came from a binge drinking night of drinking, and apparently a lot of other heinous fucking shit.
Do you remember the commercial break? Obviously, remember. You know the commercial breaks when they come back from commercial. It's it's like, here's our character, and there's the weird 70s background.
Yes.
All I can picture now.
Oh my god, does that new show do that?
What?
Does the new show do those transitions?
I don't know. Actually, I hope.
That's crazy. That'd be something. That'd be a dumb thing to fucking give up.
Fucking, you can easily just picture Hyde's transition from commercial with he's like.
I know, just what exactly, just what he just came back from, and also DJ Donkey Punch was his name in the Donkey Punch crew. Fucking, yeah. That makes sense to Hyde. I hate Hyde.
Yeah, but to your point, if fucking Eric Foreman was, dude,
I know, I'd cry.
My whole life would shatter.
Hyde is a piece of shit. He's a fucking Denny Masterson. He's an asshole in everything. Literally, Bye Bye Love. Not
yeah.
Piece of shit. The fucking Face Off. Piece of shit. That 70s show. Piece of shit.
Also, isn't he way older than fucking whatever her name is in Bye Bye Love and hitting on her?
Yeah. She's 14 and he's like 19.
They're like, hey, can you come be inappropriate for us? Dude, I do this every day.
I'm an expert at this. And then they're like, John Travolta's like, hey, Danny, you want to get a part in this face-off thing? And he's like, I'd love to. He's like, no, hold on. Just, it's a pretty serious scene, okay? You're going to be forcing yourself on Nick Cage's daughter. I'm going to pull you out of the car and beat you up. That sounds like a cakewalk.
Exactly.
Where's the acting come involved?
I was going to say, when do I
have to start acting? Wait, you're going to pay me for this?
Dude, did you know I do this every day?
Yeah, I'm actually a monster.
This is my dream job.
This is literally, I can't even, this is, they say when you find something you love, it's like you don't have to work a day of your life. I went on Face Off, it was a pleasant time for me. I didn't feel like I was working at all. It felt like, just going to the batting cage, just getting a few good swings in.
Bye, Chiquita.